Hey folks, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Doug with the second time around. Hope you're enjoying these videos and this channel. If you do, please subscribe. Hit the like button. We would really appreciate it and it helps the channel grow. So the second time around is basically I got into watch collecting and this is my journey through horology. And I fell in the rabbit hole and started buying watch after watch after watch. And honestly, too many watches. I have from the high-end Swiss down to, at least one Chinese watch. So I made a previous video, the video before this, about my experience with Ocean Crawler. And I started thinking about the conversation I had with their customer service, a man named Ross. And some things just really didn't click. And the more I thought about it, I thought, you know what? I probably need to make this video. So, I talk about limited editions in previous videos, and sometimes they're just not worth it. And all it is marketing hype because the micro brands don't have enough money to really make a lot of watches in mass. And I feel that like Ocean Crawler might be one of these. So basically, that said, I will say this about Ocean Crawler. They've got some great watches. It's an American company based out of the East Coast and American designed and then assembled and made in Switzerland using a Swiss movement. They're almost all dive watches. And I tell you what, they're beautiful. They're really well made. But I suddenly realized they kind of are con artists when it comes to marketing. And after I spoke to Ross yesterday, I called him up once I realized that things were kind of screwy. And again, the more I thought about the conversation, the more things didn't make sense. So here was the problem. I bought two of their watches, their Lapis Lazuli and their Tiger's Eye. And I'll show better pictures in this video about them. They're absolutely beautiful, and I like mineral stones, as you well know. There was only supposed to be a limited edition of 50 each. And the one thing I kept wondering about when I bought the watches is why they hadn't sold out so quickly. Usually 50 watches, they'll sell almost within a couple of days. And it was only supposed to be a limited edition of 50. Well, I finally looked at the back of the watches to see what number they were. And it had the number /100. Not 50. And so that told me that basically they made more than 50 and they had only promised 50. So when I spoke to Ross, his excuse was that they only made 50 dials of each style. But the case backs would all be numbered higher. Why? That made no sense to me. So he just explained it's a manufacturing process. And I said, but that makes no sense. That one of my watches, which was only supposed to be 50, on the case back it says 72 of 100. And then I went online and I looked, and sure enough, and I'll show you those pages where it says limited edition of 50, and when they're gone, they're gone. But on the Lapis Lazuli watch, it said final batch. So what, you made 25 and sold them and then made another 25? Or did you make 50 and then another 50? It just doesn't make sense to me that the case back has that number 100. So are you telling me that every watch you make, the most you make out of any of them on the non-limited edition is 100? Excuse me, I talk too much. But again, I think this is wrong. It makes the watches less valuable. Now, I don't resell my watches. But if I wanted to, how do I explain to someone that the watch that was only supposed to be 50 says on the back number 72? I suggested that they change the wording on their website. They might want to explain why there's a mislabeling, I guess is the best word to call it. But honestly, I believe that there might be a scam running. So again, great watches, beautiful watches, but it's going to be one of those buyer bewares. And he told me only one other person had called the company to ask the question about why there was a different number on the case back. But again, neither one of these watches have sold out yet. And the lapis lazuli, I think, has been out since March of 2026. And the cord, not even March, before that. And then on the tiger's eye, I think I got mine in March of 2026. So anyways, it's the second video because again, it just didn't make sense that they get all their backs or case backs and that they all have the 100 on them. You'd think it'd be real simple to put the number 50. The engravings aren't that great. You'll see on one of them, you can hardly make out the number. So you think they'd be a little bit better and they could actually put 50 on the case back instead of 100. Anyways, folks, tell me what you think. Leave a comment. But again, buyer beware when it comes to Ocean Crawler. You take care.